This is the spot that we've dubbed the cathedral. And you'll see that it has arches and interwoven trees. I'm going to move in closer so you can see, but there's the arches right there at the top of the frame. You'll see that the arches are with this weave, and this tree has been changed. We even have a horizontal tree,
because I have lots
which
of
is
pictures.
right there in the center of the frame.
Oh, there's a good woodpecker pole to hang on to. That one could be natural fall. That one I would probably dismiss. But no, there is some changes here. Part of it's right here with this weave. Because we had these arches here. I thought there was another arch over here.
The thing is that these trees are woven in between each other, over and under. And I don't think it fell naturally this way. So snow load can make arches go different directions. And arches that weren't here just 2 scant months ago. This is the angle on the tree break that is woven into that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it is very intricate. This is the place we call the cathedral.
So you can add, subtract.
Following the parallel arches and a Y-shaped tree, it continues down with the arch. And the tip of the arch is wedged underneath more trees. Tree break still attached.
It's no longer attached.
Now follow it through here, and it comes back into the base of one of the arches. And you can see there are multiple arches. They come back into this tied central structure. That's the back side of the structure, and you can see these things are woven. They didn't fall this way, they were placed here. There's the initial tree break. And as you can see, I'm going to follow it down. It's woven in and under and around and under and around. And we're up just from the cathedral where we found 2 more arches.
And there's a tree break in the middle of it.
And right here in the middle is a tree break.
And there's a tree break off to the left over there.
And we've got another tree break, which I will zoom in on. Right there, in the center of your frame. And we're coming up to the break.
What is holding this up?
And it goes down there
Solid.
to where Bill's at. And it's
hanging compressed against the branch right here. It's holding this up. And it comes over and arches, and there's another break that comes back that looks like it was holding it down at one time. This tree is bent in from this branch, so it's kind of wedged between this tree here. There's a branch that comes down.
well,
right
and
here.
even the madrone, though it reaches towards the sun, is a very weird arch to be next to this, with another arch above it.
Doesn't exactly look natural. Now get close up on the branch that is holding it tight against that tree. It comes over and there's nothing actually holding it down over here. It's under compression on that smaller tree right there, kind of holding the tip down. So if this came down and brought that down, it wouldn't be fed through. It would be laying the whole thing down all in one shot. So it's like that was brought down under and just let it hang there till it held its shape. So, and it's under compression between a small tree and the other madrone there. It's hung up on a branch, so it's very solid. So interesting.
It's woven between other trees. And the butt end is in the air, and it's larger in diameter than any of the stumps.
There are stumps there, but they do not match the base size of the tree. And the tree is actually kind of woven in between. So it's what's holding it up is by compression, which is one outside and another one. And show the stump right there where I think it came from. How did that get from there? The butt end's about 8 feet to the right. I go from there straight up, show where that end is, and then down the line. Yeah, it would have had to jump, and there's no way.
What looks like a little hiding spot here. Let me zoom in so you can see. It's like a little cave where you could put a little one while you went off and did your hunting. But that's all right next to this.
And it's only about 30 yards from of each other.
All these little arches, and there's two right here in the frame, one at the top, one in the middle. Tree breaks, the weave trees, all within about 30 to 50 feet of each other. And that just doesn't seem natural. Well, first we're going to go up through the Y that goes through another Y.
This is pinned in there.
And it's pinned.
And there's a twist break at the branch at the bottom.
And then there's a twist break right there. And again, this is within 30 feet of the previous structures.
This is right next to that last.
So we just found a structure and investigated a structure that Bill found last week. And it is rather intricate. We don't have a name for it yet, but we're working on it. A very big asterisk looking thing caught my eye. It looked like it was a little strange, and as I get closer, it is a little strange.
Very strange. No, that is the base of the tree. There's one that comes up and it goes that way. Show me creeping up there if you want. I don't care. Okay, I am not seeing a stump from this tree.
Okay.
That was brought and placed. There's no stump from this tree. It's a massive tree. This thing's got to weigh 4 or 5 tons from end to end. This other long one that's coming up through from the other side, there is no stump to that either. There is no top in these trees where that came out of. That was placed there. That was brought over from somewhere else. There's the stump there.
There's no stump from where this tree came from.
Not off the big one, but there is off of that one. That one's obvious.
Yeah, and that one's obvious.
And it's sitting up, hung up in the...
This is the other tree. There's the base. There's no stump anywhere to be seen. And it goes up and weaves right into the center of this whole thing. So it looks like it was placed. Just a bunch of stuff that supposedly naturally fell, yet weaved itself between trees, and it's weaved between a Y-shaped tree. Again, this guy Bill keeps telling me they like Y-shaped trees.
And that little spot at the top would not even close to the size of this tree. There is absolutely no stump here whatsoever, no remnants of a stump, just sticks underneath. Yeah, this didn't come from here, it got placed here. Same with the very large one. That thing's huge. I can't imagine what that weighs. You know, it's got to be at least 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, if not more. Same with this one. This one's got to be, you know, 1.5 tons or so. And it's placed. There is no base whatsoever. There's one broken tree here, but the base is, or the top is like 4 inches.
There's a branch that goes vertical, and it comes down and is literally dangling in midair. It was pinched between these other logs. And these are huge logs, as you heard Bill describe. But yet it's all the way up here and pinched between the trees.
Important too.
Now, normally, we would dismiss something like this as natural. But because it's in close proximity to something we just find, it gets consideration. The fact that's interesting about this one is that this branch is balanced on the tip of the other broken branch. Very interesting. Again, not saying definitively one way or another, but it's all laid down a little too perfect with the geometry.
It's only like 40 or...
This is the one we just found. And that's the proximity to the other one. You can see the horizontal. We're talking maybe 50 feet. It's not just resting. The branch is in a V groove in the broken branch. And so it looks a little suspect that it didn't happen naturally. So this is the other side of the other little break near the huge tree break.
And show below where it snapped.
And then it snapped off, and here's the other piece, and it comes down, and yet it ends right at Bill's feet, but there's no stump.
And originally, when this probably came down, it was the base end sticking up in the air. So, because here it is, there's no stump, there's nothing around this to show that this was actually standing here to begin with, which would have put the base end up in the air, which is a common thing. And we got another interesting little thing going on over here. And this is all in close proximity to everything else we just put on and filmed in the last 15 minutes. And so then we got this one over here. Looks a little interesting. And it's kind of in a crook, which would have been a Y, which they love to play with Ys. So I can see where the butt end of that would have gone up. If it broke off, why would it jump down 2.5 feet to butt back into itself? Could have been one of the juveniles mimicking what Dad was doing over there, or attempting.
Well, just to give you an idea of the proximity, there's this one, and I'll just pan over. And there's the backside of that one.
And further up.
And further up is the really big one. Well, this one's interesting because it's pinned by a bigger log and goes up. But as you can see, the log gets thicker. That is actually the base end that goes up vertically. What we've got here is another potential arch that is in proximity to the structures we just found. What's interesting about this is a little further up in the tree.
That's one tree break, and there's another one above it.
Is a tree break right there at the top of your screen in center.
Up and to the right of each other.
So right up here, as we follow it up, we've got another tree break, center screen. From another angle, you can see it's right there in the center, and it has a slight twist, and that's what makes it weird.
Let's show down to the ground.
And then we go down.
Nothing that could have hit that.
And there's nothing down here at the base that could have hit it to cause it to break. And this is also interesting because, as you can see, this tree break has a notch that's like locked to the other side. Now you might be wondering where this is in relation. I'm going to simply pan around and show you. I'm at the base of the huge structure we first stopped to see. Well, there's Bill standing next to it. Notice it's sort of wagging because it is literally pinned up above and dangling. And you can see the X of the bigger structure again. This is what caught my eye from the road. I was like, well, that's kind of weird.
The branch that goes up over the top comes in behind another branch that's off of this tree. And that looks like what's locking it in. And that is exactly what's locking it. It's really not pinned. It is hanging there because of another branch. It's like a hook. Like they put a hook up and hooked it over the top. So, interesting.
So what's up here is there are too many finds in one spot to
In a concentrated area, which is what you usually find. When you find one thing, fan out. Start looking around. Finding one thing could be an accident, could be a mistake. Okay, well, possibly nature did this. But if you're not finding something that would have caused that, fan out a little ways. Go out 50 feet, 50, or start doing circles. Go out further and further each time. When you find two things, that's that's pretty interesting. When you find three things, it makes it look a lot more towards of what you are looking for than it is something that was constructed. So what did we find? Probably 5 or 6?
Yeah, about 5 or 6, I think. Somewhere around
maybe
there.
More, maybe 7.
Yeah. It starts to look less random and more like it was planned and constructed.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right there, all in the same area. That's why I always encourage you. If you find one thing that looks suspicious, look around. There's more. If it's by them, they don't just do one thing because they are conserving their energy. So, well, while we're here, let's put one of these over here. Well, let's do that over there too. You know, we don't know what their logic is to doing these things, but to us, it's artwork.
Yes, this is definitely artwork.
Because of the complication of it. Those trees were huge.
Yeah, no.
Those trees were big.
No signs of block and tackle or heavy machinery anywhere.
And it's not far. It's probably maybe a half mile up that where we found Mama's print on the bank, her finger marks, and a knee print. Above that, right on top, was a 22-inch long print by over 12 inches wide. That would make sense that maybe Uncle George came over and did a little artwork. Because I don't think Silver could lift that tree. He's big.
He's big. It's a huge tree.
He's big. He's 4 feet across the shoulders. He's 3 feet deep, but that tree is tonnage. I know they're strong, and I know he's a tough dude, and I would never make you mad. You want him on your team. But I think Uncle came over and helped him with this one. This thing is huge. So that 22-inch print would make a little more sense now. you know, that they have friends coming over to play
And
house.
we're off to further down this road because every time we come here.
And notice we're color-wise twinsies today.
Yeah.
That was by accident too.
Yeah. None of this is planned that way.
Okay, the spot you're seeing here is, if you notice the lower section as opposed to the upper section, about the leaf litter. These are things you look for. That it's had lots of activity on it, but I don't see ungulate activity. There are no hoof prints going on this. So this might be a spot where they do some crossing. It comes up to the left side here and goes out to a little flat across the top, then another section going up, but it's full of leaf litter. This right here has had activity of some sort because the leaf litter's gone. It's not just going to blow off of one section. It's going to show an entire section. You know, that's what we do as hunters. We're looking for places that the leaf litter's broke down because, you know, everything's walking through there consistently. Those are trails that you want to kind of guide, and that's where you want to put your trail cam, you know, to see what kind of animals are coming in and out of there, because it's a well-used trail. It's just wanted to point this out. That's another thing to look for when you're searching for evidence. And this is just back a little ways from our spot where we call the print shop now. It's where we found Mama's print on the bank with the knee bank and her finger marks, because she was starting to slide. And there's lots of smaller prints down below on the left-hand side, and that's where the 22-inch by 12 plus print was, which is just up around the corner from where we're at right now. See, there's no leaf litter on this spot where there should be. And we're going to pull forward here nice and easy and show you the next area here just covered in leaf litter.
And right in here,
look at all the leaves that are down. Why aren't they down over there? Why is that clear? It should not be clear. It should look like you're seeing right here. And so there's a sign of things that are having a lot of traffic come through it.
Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a track of disturbance going right along the edge of the shadow, to the right of the shadow, going all the way up to that split at the top.
You see there's no leaf litter.
And there's no leaf litter on this. I'm going to pan down again. You can see the disturbance, center screen, another disturbance. And the thing is there are no hoof prints.
And this is the spot we call the print shop, because this is where we found Mama's print. If you fan up, see where all those branches are coming down, little roots coming down? Just above that up there where you can see the sunshine through was where the 22-inch print was. Right there.
All right, what we're looking at here is a very strange tree that is twisted around like a corkscrew. This doesn't look like it would grow naturally because all the other trees around it are growing straight up and down.
And it's in a spot where it gets plenty of sun, so it doesn't have to compete for sunshine. And I know where several of those are, and it's like slow manipulations that they work. And they do it over time.
Much like you would do with a bonsai tree.
Yep. The lower tree that's there is live. And so it looks like it was done with purpose. And there's several things along the way between here and there.
Now, we didn't get out of the van for this because straight up, we're on our way to Picasso. And
follow the yellow brake road. Follow the tree brakes. Yeah, remember the one on the big rock. One on the other rock.
What we're looking at here is the small rock stacked on top of that rock and a bigger rock stacked on top of that rock.
Which are all fresh and clean.
They're all clean on top of a mossy rock, and as I zoom out here, you will see that there is no place for those rocks to have fallen naturally. There's nothing.
And this is a spot I noticed the one big rock, the larger rock on the big rock, but the smaller rock, I don't remember being there. So that may be a new one that was set up there. They knew I was coming down here again and that I'd turn around here, because this is my turnaround spot, because if I miss Picasso, which is quite a ways back up that way, this is my spot to go, oh, you've gone too far. So And there starts to be grass growing up in the road, and I didn't, because it's fire season, I don't want to go any further and take a chance of burning down this yard. It's my beautiful backyard. Pan up through the trees and gonna show how
It's absolutely gorgeous up here. Not bad for an office. There's absolutely no place.
There's not even needles on any of those. There should be needles sitting on. There's needles all around. All right, let's go hit Picasso.
All we're looking at here is 3 tree breaks right next to each other going in different directions. But they're all in the same group, and there's no other broken trees anywhere else. This is on a road where we've been seeing a lot of different things. I'm going to pan around here a little bit. Let me zoom in again. And you can see there's the tree breaks. And that they go multiple directions. In fact, there's 2 that are going the exact opposite direction at almost the same angles. And there's an arch that goes right through the middle of the tree breaks. I know it's a little hard for the camera to pick this all up, but you can see the arch, center of my frame, going from left to right, and I'm going to pan it from left to right, and it goes right through here to the base. You can see it's bent, not broken. And then when we zoom up, we pan up here, there's the multiple tree breaks. Okay, I get it. Trees break all the time. But to have them break in different directions and an arch going through the middle, well, that's a little odd. So we stopped to talk to a guy that was on a motorcycle. And right where we stopped, you can see there's the side view mirror.
Is a double twist. Look at this beautiful twist. This one's coming home. Okay, maybe we should walk around this spot a little bit. I see a tree break over there, or maybe. Macro. That's where I'm close. Wait a minute. There's another fucking twist right here. Blown apart down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 total twists.
That is just amazing. And yes, we're taking this one home.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so we noticed after we cut the thing out and we're taking it back that there's another pinch break
right above it.
Right above it. We didn't notice that at first.
That's that little trail marker break that they make, the little tiny ones.
So this is the little pinch break that we found right above where we just found the multi-twist part.
Stanley has counted 10 of them in total. That is a very strange spot. You might see 1 or 2. I don't think I've seen this many of them arched together in one little section.
We saw this from the road, about 50 feet from where we just got the multi-twist branch.
At one time, then it was pushed back down because they're riding the bike. This one over here is very interesting, long and pushed all the way across there, and it's still alive. And then you got this other one going the other direction. And all these are pushed over and growing along the ground level, which that shouldn't be happening. That's not natural. Just multiple arches. There's breaks. Large break in the background over that way. Very interesting spot. Right by where we got the 4-twist tree break. Very interesting spot. Tree break over there.
These are the initial arches that are
side.
backlit from the other side. And when we got up here and walked off the path, we're maybe 100 feet from the roadway, there was all these other anomalies. The trees on the ground, the really thick break. We even have minor tree breaks close by. And we have obviously manipulated trees.
I've seen big patches of choke cherry, but...
And amongst the multiple arches is another twisted tree break.
And there's another break up above. In the same configure up above.
So what we've got is a tree break that, follow it down, comes into an X right here at the roadway. Very interesting. Not enough to really think it is, but it was interesting enough that it should get a little video. Yeah. Because right across the road, where Bill is filming right now, is another twisted tree break.
We found the Twisted Paradise.
This has definitely been a twisted trip.
This is Twisted Sister.
Whose sister? And somehow in the midst of this, I missed another tree break. You can see the downward angle towards the center of your screen. I'll try to get in a little tighter, but it's kind of hard to see in the shadow. There it is. You can see it a little better now. And again, that's right next to this little X and that tree break. So what we're about to see has been dubbed Picasso. Look at that geometry. Okay, look at these things. They've been structured and layered. And this two-dimensional thing, let me try to zoom out some more.
1, 2.
And you can see
4,
it's
5,
a very
6
elaborate
arches.
structure. It sticks out. Look at all the rest of the trees around it. They're all vertical, except for this one section where they're doing all kinds of angles.
And there's 6 X's right in that, off of the same structure. And there's more around it. How about I go walk out in the midst of that so you can really kind of gauge size-wise, because photos never do things justice. But when you get in, stand in an area and you can really see the scale. I'm not a little guy. So now you can see the scale of this. It's not small. And this one you got, these are all cedars. And you got one fir in there. And everything behind me, these are all firs. You got X's up there. You got a tree break up there that comes over into making an X, and actually a little diamond in between this one. And if I remember correctly, out here, back in here, there's another X back there. So that's 7. This is what I counted last time, 7 X's. There might be more. There's another one over there. There's 8. So 8 X's so far. And I didn't count actually that one. So that would be 9. This was broken on purpose to be part of this structure. Then it was broken at the top to come back over to be part of the structure on the other side. This is a busy, busy little unit. And with my eyes closed, my eyes lit up, was triangles. I was seeing geometric shapes, and that's what they were sending me.
And that is a tree break at the top of all of the Picasso.
And then it comes over and makes a triangle, which I'm going to try to capture. There we are. A triangle and an X going up right here. And they are symbolic. I mean, look how perfect the triangle is for the things they make. Come over here, see everything else. This is from the other side. Watch this cedar, how it goes up. It's curved around back this way. Then two, you can actually count that as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 total. So there's 8 X's. That's not natural. 1 maybe. Yeah, okay, it fell that way. 2. That's getting into a tougher realm and the odds go way up. 3. How about 8? I don't think the odds are calculable. Now this is a real interesting break. This isn't a tree. This is a piece of the split tree. This goes between the split. How one tree splits another tree, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Especially, that's not a rotted tree. That's not rotted. This came down, was busted here. On its way down, split this whole section off of this tree. Very interesting. Another tree break right next to it to the left. And that one looks like it might have a little bit of a twist in it. Then behind us, we're found an arch. So interesting.
And another arch up behind that. You can just see part of it in the right portion of the screen.
It's really in a dense part of the woods.
Very, very dense part of the woods, as you can see.
Arch right there. All these been, there. That looks like it might have been a twisted break or one of those pinch breaks. This has got some, a little bit, yeah, this has got a little twisting in it. I can see here. That looks like one of the pinch breaks. And for that splitting this tree, that is amazing. I have never seen that before. That is a hard tree. It is not rotted whatsoever. It is hard wood. Across the road, then it goes down and
Another tree break.
It's one of the springs that fill the lake.
It comes down over this little side road that we're hiking into to get to this certain lake.
2 pieces hanging right there, and it's just hanging by a thread on that one. It's a little finger break. That's not natural. And then I'll get it over here where you can see it's actually hanging by a thread, literally. Pretty cool, huh? You were just gonna walk right by. And find this little feature. I spotted this hanging, and notice that it's just hanging by a thread right in the middle. Let's see if I can get this focused in a little better. That's not a piece of moss. That's a stick that's hanging by just a little bit of bark right in between, holding it together. So just another little pinch break. Very nice and easy and very subtle. And it's really hard to find those things. You really got to pay attention because this is small. Look at my hand. It's really small. This is tiny little stuff. And those are some of the coolest breaks. Like the one I have up on my page or head up on there that's twisted around is just hanging by the bark. You know, but that took a loop around and is hanging. This is very similar, but this is just hanging by a thread. What they left is one little piece of thread there to hang in between for that piece to remain there.
This stick is simply stabbed into the ground.
See, it's about noticing everything. Subtle little tiny cues. There isn't, you really got to pay attention. When you get good at doing this, you'll notice all those things.